All right, let's get right into it. AI coding tools, they've totally changed the game, right? The speed you can work at now is just electrifying. But, and this is a big but, there's a hidden danger just kind of lurking under the surface. So today, we're going to break down how you can move at the speed of AI without, crashing and burning the second you go live.
This quote, it really just captures this whole new reality perfectly. We're talking minutes. Think about that. What used to take days, maybe even weeks, just for a basic setup, it can now happen pretty much instantly. Just imagine the power in that. Showing a client a real working product before the kickoff call is even over. It's wild.
And this is the dream, right? You're dazzling clients, you're winning projects, and you are leaving your competitors completely in the dust. This kind of speed, it gives you a massive, massive competitive edge. Suddenly, you're not just talking about an idea anymore, you're literally handing them the keys to a working model.
Okay, but here's the turn. This incredible speed comes with a price. If you don't manage it with some real discipline, you're looking at a whole new world of risk. The very thing that makes you so fast, well, that can become your single biggest liability.
So the crucial thing to get here is that these AI tools, they're optimized for one thing and one thing only: speed. They aren't really trained to think about stability or security or how to scale. Nope, they'll build you this fantastic-looking prototype, but a lot of the time, it's just a fragile house of cards, something that was never really designed to handle the pressure of the real world.
So, I have to ask, what actually happens at launch? What happens when you push that big Go Live button? When real users, with their real data, start hammering away on a system that was, let's be honest, built in just a few hours.
Well, you're looking at three core dangers. First, you end up with databases with basically no row-level security. That means one user could, potentially see another user's private data. Huge problem. Second, you have permissions that seem totally fine when one person was testing it, but they just completely break the second 100 people try to log on at once. And finally, the whole prototype just falls apart. It crumbles under real-world pressure. It's kind of like being handed the keys to a race car that has no brakes. It feels amazing and super fast, but it is utterly, utterly dangerous.
So, how do the top agencies handle this? What's their secret? Well, they use a safety-first playbook. It's all about laying a rock-solid foundation before you even think about letting the AI hit the accelerator. This is where that experience and discipline really come into play.
And this three-step process is really the heart of that playbook. Step 1, you start with the data structure. You design your database schemas. Step 2, you lock it all down with row-level security, or RLS. And that's basically just a set of rules that makes sure users can only see their own data and nothing else. And then, and only then, once that foundation is solid, do you even touch the UI. Structure and security come first. The pretty stuff comes last.
But look, building safe doesn't mean you have to be slow. Not at all. The next piece of this puzzle is just knowing which tool to use and when to use it. It's all about strategically balancing that raw, incredible speed with some real surgical control.
And this really breaks down the trade-off perfectly. When you need speed, like when you're iterating super fast and you need to get client feedback, you use the visual AI builders. But when you need control, when you're building that production-ready, totally secure backend, that's when you switch to code-first tools, where a developer has precise line-by-line control over everything.
And this brings us to a really important idea: lightweight validation. Now, this is not about adding weeks of slow, bureaucratic testing. No way. It's about smart, simple checks. For instance, before you merge any new code the AI generated, just have another developer give it a quick once-over, looking specifically for security flaws. Or, run a simple automated test to double-check that your security rules are still intact. These are just small steps to keep you safe without grinding your development to a complete halt.
Okay, on to the final and honestly most critical step, the client handoff. You've just built this amazing, fast, and safe application. The very last thing you want to do is hand over what is essentially a hidden time bomb to your client. The handoff has to be just as disciplined as the entire build process was.
So, best practices for a safe handoff look a little something like this. First, you put guardrails in place to prevent those AI tools from accidentally making breaking changes to the live production code. Super important. Second, you set up clear, easy-to-follow protocols for any updates and maintenance down the road. And finally, you make sure the client actually understands the system's architecture so they know what they're taking on. This way, you're not just, throwing a project over the wall. You're formally transferring ownership and really setting them up for long-term success.
And that really just leaves us with this one last thing to think about. When you're using these incredible AI tools, is your AI a co-pilot, or is it just a reckless passenger? Are you treating it like a skilled assistant that helps your expert navigation, or are you just letting some random, reckless passenger grab the wheel? Because ultimately, that choice is what determines whether you reach your destination safely or if you end up in a ditch.